Jackson, your first NFL start against a team that you knew from being a fan and now as a player, talk about just the joy of that first NFL start and the victory.
Man, it was crazy. Just like it was very surreal. It was good to be able to take everything in and feel with everybody and just experience it and get the dub. So I was super excited. It was awesome.
Thank you.
What did you think when you watched the tape? What did you like about your performance? What do you feel like you need to improve on?
I think there could be improvement in every single area from watching the tape. But definitely I felt like I went out there and played hard and just was being myself and was, you know what I'm saying, best advice anyone ever give you is just be yourself and good things happen.
When did you know during the week that you were going to start? I know it was kind of everyone knew Xavier was hurt, but when did they let you know that it was going to be you?
I knew at the beginning of the week.
Yeah. So did you have many people there?
What'd you say?
Did you have many people there?
Yeah, my brother was able to come, my cousin as well, some of my friends.
Yeah, Jack, that last touchdown to Chase, Joe had so much time. That seemed to be kind of the defining play of the game. And it looked like they tried to stunt you. They looked like they tried to do a twist there with you. I wonder if you could run us through that sequence there.
Yeah, just saw the front and saw how they were lining up. And saw we were tracking number 8. I saw him go over, and I was providing presence for the center. And then when 8 came across the field, just gave him a stab, and then refilled my backside hand, just ran my feet and finished the play. And then I didn't even know they scored. It was crazy. Like, I got up, and then I'm like, because there's no noise, obviously. And so, like, they were telling me, I was like, yeah, you're on field goal, because I was about ready to run off the field.
When did you feel like you were in a rhythm, during the game? When did you feel like, did you have butterflies? Did you need to take a few shots? How did it go for you?
The whole game, I really liked the way the game flowed for me. Definitely I felt like after the second series though, I definitely felt like I was getting to a much better rhythm. Definitely had those pregame butterflies though, like everyone has them, but it wasn't in a bad way. It was a very excited way. I was like, it was a great opportunity. I was ready to step up.
Jackson, when you got back, maybe you're by yourself, maybe in the car on the way home, was there a moment of reflection where you realized I'm an NFL player now? I just had my first start, and what all that meant to you?
Yeah, I definitely had a great time to reflect while I was coming home and stuff like that and in the car, but it really wasn't a reflection of so much as I'm an NFL player now, because I've always been an NFL player. And even the past couple games where I wasn't starting, I was still prepared the same way that I prepared this week. You know what I mean? So it always goes hand in hand. But honestly, I'm just glad, and I was able to reflect just on this, the past year and just all the work that I put in to get to that moment. It felt good to have a victory. So.
Jackson, we haven't seen you at length going into Sunday's game since camp because we're at practice pretty brief. How has your game evolved over the past month or so, and how are you different as a player?
In every single aspect, I see the game better. I understand concepts better. I understand fronts better. Technique has improved, but still have tremendous room to grow in all those areas and aspects as well. And Coach Pollak and my vet teammates have really, and even my younger teammates have really helped mold me. You know what I'm saying? Everything you see today is not just me, it's everyone being able to pour into me as well. That coming to fruition today. So really thankful for my teammates.
Are you expecting to start this week against? Are you expecting to start this week against Jacksonville?
I'm gonna do whatever the coaches ask me to do.
What about the speed of the game, Jackson?
Excuse me, can you repeat the question?
What about the speed of the game? That's one thing, young players always talk about that they want to get comfortable with. Well, you have a lot of responsibilities, obviously, at your position, protections and whatnot. When did that feel really, really comfortable, the speed of the game? The second series?
Correct. Even the first series, even the speed of the game in the first series still felt comfortable, but I just really felt in the zone coming out the second series. Definitely. I was first series is, was what it was. Let's go. You know what I mean? I'm ready. those butterflies were gone at that point.
I'm guessing you showed something to your teammates with that performance, Jackson. Did Coach Pollak or any of the other guys say anything to you after the game to, congratulate you for coming through under those circumstances?
Yeah, they were just all just super loving, but they're all just reminding me that, like, that's like what they expect of me. And so, like, it's up to me to continue to put in the work to be able to do that. And I was just really thankful for even be able to have all of them for me to get to that point in the first place.
Jackson, you've had a very interesting start to the league, going back from the end of OTAs up to now. You know what, going back to the start of training camp, what was that moment like for you, and what was the biggest realization that you learned when you got back and saw where you were at the depth chart and kind of where you had to work your way back up?
Can you repeat the question again?
I said, when going back to the start of training camp, what was the biggest realization you had, or kind of what kind of stuck out the most when you kind of saw where you were on the depth chart and like where you needed to go to get to where you were on Sunday?
In training camp, it wasn't really like a realization with the depth chart, because the depth chart rotated a lot during training camp and stuff like that. And really the main thing I was focused on, I wasn't focused on where I was at on the depth chart. I was just focused on making sure that I was becoming a better player and a better person, and learning and making personal growth, and not worrying about things I don't control. Because I don't control where I'm at in the depth chart. I just control how I perform in practice.
Is there a level of disappointment from you from that standpoint of, obviously, the expectations when you get drafted as high as you did in the second round? You were obviously starting for the last 2 years of your career at Clemson. Did you feel a little bit of disappointment or anything when you weren't the starter in week 1?
Yeah, and the disappointment, it wasn't like in a negative like way. It wasn't like disappointment, like, oh, I'm disappointed I'm not the starter, this is unfair. It was more so like just like self-reflection and like knowing that I need to do like things to be able to make myself better. You know what I'm saying? And just acting on that emotion and being able to use that as fuel to push me to another level.
What's been the hardest part of the transition from tackle to guard for you?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's been like a one hardest thing. There's a lot of different things, and there's a lot of different things that have helped me, like being at tackle, at guard, you know what I mean? And so, and that give me advantages from switching over. But really just being cognizant of people on both sides of you, and also like worrying more about like helping eye progression, like knowing where like you're supposed to be in position to other people instead of just being on an island by yourself.
Jackson, you spent multiple seasons protecting Trevor Lawrence. Now you're going to go up against him in a few days. How excited are you to face your former quarterback?
Super excited. I'm super excited. Miss my boy, and I'm definitely excited to watch him work. And I'm definitely excited to get the dub against him as well. Hold it over his head next time we hang out.
Are you going to make a wager or anything like that, or reach out to him before the game?
Jackson, talk about Coach Pollak and just what he's meant to you in terms of your development as a player in this league.
Yeah, I can't say enough, about Coach Pollak and what he's done for me, and just how he's coached me and how he's always been consistently, just every day, just everything he does is try to make me a better player. And he's always like hard on me, you know what I mean, but in a great way, and always constantly like coaching for perfection. And it's really just a blessing to be able to like know that like every day I'm coming in, like I have someone who's genuinely like focused on making me better, and I'm not having to worry about anything like that. So it's been great being with Coach Pollak, and I love him as a coach for that.
Much was said about the veterans talking to the rookies and the young guys about the rivalry, the Steeler-Bengal rivalry. Mike Hilton, Mike Daniels, guys stood up and talked about it. But you grew up here, so I'm wondering, did you have a sense of it already? I mean,
yeah,
had you already known the deal?
Yeah, I most definitely have a sense of it already, just being from Cincinnati and being a football fan. So I definitely was aware of the energy and was excited to be in it.
Being from here, do you feel like, obviously every player's friends and families are going to hit them up after a good game and after a win, but do you feel like you can get more love here since you're from here? And is that cool to see family and friends? I'm sure they'll be in the stands Thursday night. How cool is that?
Yeah, I definitely would say so. And it's been awesome. I appreciate it. And it really does go a long way, and it fuels me. So it's a win-win in every situation. So I'm glad.
Do you have a scouting report on Lawrence? What do the Bengals have to do to stop him?
Scouting report on Lawrence. I'm sure our coaches and defensive players have a better idea on that than I do. You know what I mean? So leave that to them.
Jackson, when you were at Clemson, what was the most impressive? I mean, you played with him for a few years there. What was the most impressive thing you saw out of Trevor during his time at Clemson?
Just how consistent he was as a person and a player, just from the time he got there to when he left. And he's just always on top of it, always a good person, always a good teammate, always on time and doing the right things. It was a great example to everyone he was around. And that's really hard, especially like at that level that, you know what I'm saying, he was at in college. So
Last question.
A lot of respect for that.
Sorry, last question.
Coach Taylor pointed out after the game, Jackson, that they had a lot of success running behind you yesterday. Were you conscious of that during the game, that they keep going in my direction?
Yes, eventually after, you know what I'm saying, after a couple of plays, knowing that we were going my direction, I understood like this is what like I was this is what I meant to do. So I just sold out for it.